recently passed a law allowing the death penalty, including execution by hanging for certain terrorism-related killings. Supporters say the law is necessary to deter future attacks, while critics argue it may be applied mainly or exclusively to Palestinians.
Yeah, I would argue the latter.
My question to you is, do you think the death penalty actually deters political violence?
No, I do not. I don't think it deters anything.
Well, can you elaborate a little?
Well, I mean, I don't think it deters violence that happens, outside of a political or geopolitical issue. But I also don't. I mean, I don't buy. The whole designation of people as being terrorists. I think what Israel has done to the Gazans and to the Lebanese and to Iran have been terrorist actions. They're bombing schools full of little girls. They target civilians all the time. They are a terrorist state, in my opinion. Maybe people don't want to know that or think that, but that's my opinion. I think they and the United States are the two most evil countries in the world right now.
And can national security justify unequal legal treatment?
Never.
Can you elaborate a little?
Well, you're saying about national. Yeah, I mean, I also don't buy that. I don't feel that Israel's national security is really in danger. I don't see that anyone's going to inflict significant damage on the state of Israel or the people that live there. I don't believe that. Maybe someone has a nuclear bomb, but nobody. I mean, the only country I know in that region besides Israel that has one is Pakistan, and I don't think Pakistan's going to do that. So I don't see anyone being a significant threat to them militarily. So I don't think the self-defense thing is a viable argument.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. Do you think that a national security justifies unequal legal treatment?
No.
Can you elaborate?
Because, wait, can you repeat the statement again?
Can national security justify unequal legal treatment?
No, because unequal treatment, that's unfair for, everyone, no matter who they are. And, yeah. Yep.
And can a death sentence be trusted when the process itself is flawed?
The process itself is, messed up, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, because, if it's messed up, then they could give someone the death penalty for an unfair reason, which is, unjust. But, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time. Can a death sentence be trusted when the judicial process itself is disputed?
Yeah, I guess I would call in a lot of questions about if the judicial process has some flaws in it, then yeah, it could probably be disputed. That makes sense.
Okay, and do you think the state should have the power to execute people?
I guess there's certain crimes where if you could prove verifiably that it was a act against humanity, if there's no way to recover, then yeah. I don't know. These are big questions. I don't know though.
Yeah, well, that's okay. My question to you is...
A terrorist is a terrorist. I don't care what country he's from. But
Yeah.
if they're only going to hang Palestinians for terrorism, that's wrong. If it's universal and it's going to be across the border for anybody that does terrorism in Israel, and that's the law, then know the penalties for what you do. That's my belief. We have the death penalty here, certain states.
My question to you is, do you think the death penalty actually deters political violence?
I don't think ideology can be deterred. I don't think there's a place on this earth where you can convince someone that their God is not your God. It's never going to happen. And that's a shame because, we should be bigger than that. We should be bolder than that. I don't know how much is true about the government's release of these so-called UFO documents, You heard about that? That aliens do exist type things and that there's Congress and, meetings in boards and release documents that say yes, there is other things out there that we aren't aware of that aren't from here. So I can't put any much more than that on it, saying that no one religion trumps another person's existence from a different solar system or planet. So who are we to say? I don't think your ideology, I don't think my ideology. I'm a Catholic. I believe in Catholicism. I believe in the Roman Church, but I'm not going to go and fight a crusade for it. I already served my term in the war, and I burnt my leg from, my foot to my knee. But I did 2 terms, and, I did 2 tours, and I fought combat decorated, but I left it all on the plate when I got out of service, So there you go. Any other questions?
Can a death sentence be trusted when the judicial process itself is disputed?
Disputed how?
Just wrong, let's say.
Well, I don't know how it could be wrong if it's passed into law, and if it's passed into law, then it's governed by the people, and that would make it right, in my point. That's why we have a voting system. That's why laws get passed into legislation, because we vote them to be right. And the majority of the people that want to see that law enforced, then they're on the right. And the people that don't want to have it enforced, more than likely are people who have relatives or someone they know that's suffering from the consequences thereof, or my son didn't mean to do that robbery. He was just the driver of the car that went and did a home invasion and killed 3 people in the family and the child. But he was innocent. He was only driving. No, he's just as guilty. In the war, they teach people that drive bomber planes and people that drive drones to not worry about the consequences of casualties, quote unquote, innocent casualties. My father's grandfather, World War I, World War II, both bomber pilots. He said that when I dropped the bomb in Germany, I didn't care if it hit the ball bearing factory or the nursery school or the retirement home, because the grandma that makes the sandwich for the son that goes to work in the ball bearing factory that makes the ball bearings that run the tank that kills my soldiers is my enemy as much as anybody else. So drop the bombs on them. That's it.
Yeah, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can a death sentence be trusted when the judicial process itself is disputed?
Absolutely not. There's an apartheid regime that's happening in Israel right now. There's a huge, awful genocide that's being perpetrated upon the Palestinian people, and anything that's happening like that is just a way for them to take political prisoners and not have any kind of accountability to anything that's happening over there.
Should the state have the power to execute people?
I think that when you're talking about the state of Israel, in the current moment, absolutely not. I think that they're utilizing it in a way that is, they themselves are terrorists. They're perpetrating horrible atrocities on people, and not just what's awful happening to the people in Gaza, but the different things they've done in regards to people that are there for medical aid, journalists, all those sorts of things. It's ridiculous. I have an issue with the state of the United States of America having the ability to put people to death. I think that it's wielded like a cudgel in certain ways, there's still institutional racism that's built into our system. We look at states like Texas and some of the southern states where people were executed recently. I don't remember the exact details, but someone was recently executed even though there was evidence that they may not have actually committed a crime. And that's ridiculous. So, yeah.
Thank you for your time. Do you think the death penalty deters political violence?
No.
Can you elaborate?
Well, if you're a Muslim, you believe you're going somewhere else after you die, whereas I'm an atheist and I have no interest in going anywhere other than this life. So if you think that you're going somewhere, if you do something good for your people and somewhere for you to go, they're likely to do that. Or not likely to do that, but they're more inclined to do that versus me, where I want to live on this earth. This is the only earth. There is no afterlife. Then, yeah.
So you think that religion is the factor when considering the situation here in Israel and the Middle East?
Well, yes, of course, there's two different religions, but I'm not saying that one's right or one's wrong. But there's definitely two different contributing factors to the religion, yeah.
All right. And can a death sentence be trusted when the judicial process is corrupted?
Well, that's a loaded question. How do we know the judicial system's corrupted?
If it's placed in a hypothetical situation, let's say for a hypothetical situation, right?
So like the guy that killed Charlie Kirk, are we saying that's politically motivated? Do you think that? Is that what we're saying here?
It's just
If there's a jury of peers and they're found guilty, there should be the appeal process, and that would essentially give it 2 steps of justice. Surely somewhere along the line someone's going to get the right answer, and if there's any benefit of doubt, then obviously the death penalty is not included. But if someone admits to doing it, go the death penalty.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
No worries.